All right, guys, welcome back to Mod Pop Thrift. My name is Tom. That's Cece and Evelyn. And I left you guys with a super soaker and told you that I had $1,000 day worth of sales. And I haven't made a video since then. So there have been a lot of things going on since then. I did that $1,000, I had the $1,000 day and I shipped all of that without showing it to you. And then I had a $500 day and then like a $190.
Dad, can I say something?
In a minute. And then the next was yesterday was $750. So I have 35 items to ship and a bunch of stuff you guys haven't seen yet. We need to go into this here U-Haul and get a couple of boxes to securely ship some of the stuff that we're sending. Evelyn is making crazy faces. What'd you want to say, baby?
Hi.
So we're going to go get some boxes. Let's get into this real quick. Are you making crazy faces?
Get out with it.
All right, so I already packed and shipped a couple of days worth of sales just to get them done because I'm busy. So I did want to show you guys stuff. I'm going to go over it quick, and then we'll go do more traditional what sold's out in the garage here in just a couple minutes. Billy Joel, this one, the guy messaged me right as soon as I was done shipping stuff. I was still in the garage, and he's like, hey, I just bought this. I need it right away. Can you send it right away? And it just happened to work out. I don't normally jump through hoops, but I was standing there at the time. I got it shipped for him right away. I paid like $3 a piece for a bunch of shirts. This one sold for $14.20 free shipping. Donald Duck Bank, this sold for $12 plus shipping. It's older. I think it's dated 1971. More modern, most more modern stuff from Disney isn't going to have a date. This one was date stamped 1971. It's a bank and it didn't have the stopper in the bottom. They're replaceable, but they're not super easy to find, and you got to get the one for the exact right size. So it is a little bit of a big deal for a vintage bank to be missing the stopper. But something like this, somebody's going to set that on a shelf and never bother with it. It's just going to be a cool shelf piece sitting up somewhere. So I knew it would sell. I paid $1. It sold for $12 in about 2 weeks. Paid $2.50 for a bunch of Caterpillar hats, and the Caterpillar hats normally do fairly well. They were all new with tag. This one sold for $17.99 free shipping. Levi picked up this dog cast iron boot scraper at Goodwill for like $3.50, and it sat around for 6 or 8 months, but it eventually did sell for $30 plus shipping. The buyer's all in at $56 bucks. This coffee mug, I picked this up for 99 cents. It's still new with a tag from 1990 something. It's not in the title. Sold for $14.99 free shipping. The Ninja that I picked up for $6, and I sold both the food processor top and the blender top, and then the motor, which didn't work. And I told you there were no sold comps for a motor not working. I listed it for $16.99, and it sold plus shipping. So the buyer's all in at $32. That would have been a $60, $80 piece if it had turned on, and probably it would have been best to sell the motor with one of the tops for $100, but I did really well with that. Little Pokemon figurines are starting to sell for whatever reason. I've had them since like Christmas, and now they're starting to click off a little bit at a time. This Yankees shirt sold for $10 free shipping, and I can't find it. So that's bad, because like now it sold for nothing and I get a defect. Woohoo! I picked up the same place we got Donald Duck's head. I got this McDonald's coffee mug for a dime, and it sold for $6.80 plus shipping. It's a little bit scratched up, and it should have like a plate on the bottom that you would stick to your car dash and slide it in there, and it should have a lid. It didn't have either of those things. Otherwise, it would have been twice as much money. $6.80 plus shipping. Sing-along games for PlayStation don't do as well as like as the ones that play instruments. But this I had a microphone and I had 3 games, and this sold for $9 plus shipping. Buyers all in at $22, which means they paid like $13 in sales tax and shipping, and I have to pay final value fees on the 22, not the 9. So you got to watch out selling stuff like that, because final value fees on $22, 10% would be, it's probably $350 out of my 9 that I made in profit. And then shipping is probably $6 or $8, let's call it $8. So I'm $11, $12, and I only sold for $9. Tricky business selling things for not much that have to ship priority. That's what I'm trying to get into. The big bag of random toys I got, action figures. Codename Kid Next Door was a popular show, Cartoon Network, in 2006. The toys are still popular, and they're hard to come by. This is a Burger King special thing. It sold for $9, free shipping. We went to that yard sale where I got like the steel sweeper, and I got the guitar and made a whole bunch of money. Well, there were some things I never even got to listing until the other day, and this 8mm head cleaner for your handy cam kind of thing sold for $24, free shipping. New old stock stuff does well. Camcorder stuff does well. I listed a handful of 45s the other day, picture sleeve 45s, and these two were by the same band, and they were Australian import. Seekers is the name of the band, and you may not be familiar with them, but if you're familiar with oldies music, they're kind of a folk rock, and they sing, "Hey there, Georgie girl, living in the world so fancy free." That is the Seekers. That song is not on either of these, but they were a reason. They have 4 or 5 top 10 songs, but that's probably the only one anybody's super familiar with, unless you're a big fan of 60s folk rock, which I tend to be. Animal Crossing, bought that for $2. The game was not in there, but it did have the more rare memory card, and that memory card sold. That memory card really put it over the top. Sold for $38 for disc, or for case, manual, inserts, and the memory card. No game. So don't pass on vintage. I wouldn't be buying Switch cases right now, probably. Not for more than $1. Or PlayStation 3 cases for more than 50 cents. But like that, GameCube, probably not Wii or Wii U, but anything cardboard that a video game case. So just something to think about. Just because a case is empty, or you find, or you open it, it's got the wrong game in it, that's probably more common. Sometimes it can still be worth picking up. If the game is a good title to start with, then the empty case is probably still going to be worth something. Pabst Blue Ribbon hat. Pabst was headquartered in Peoria at some point, and so we do have a lot of Pabst memorabilia around here. This is not super old, probably 80s trucker hat. I bought a gigantic set of slot cars, and it had 4 cars in it. It had the track, but the track wasn't complete, didn't work super well, and was the wrong parts for the box. So I decided to break it up, and I did really well. This car lid was not screwed to anything. So you look at this, there isn't a car on here. There isn't wheels on this. This is just the body of the car. And this one is a Mercury Cougar. Sold for $20, free shipping, to somebody that it's just Eureka, the town over, 2 or 3 towns over, half-hour drive from here. I picked up this Stratomatic game from my buddy, and we both thought it was worth a fortune. And it did sell for $70 plus shipping, but some of the comps are $200, $300 for this thing. The issue with this one is, I'll circle it on the sold listing, 2 teams. This should have been, like, I think all of the teams in the NBA, but this one only had, like, the Cavaliers and the Pistons or something. And so I don't exactly know what it was supposed to come with, but all the questions that I got led me to believe the more teams you have, the better. And mine only had 2 teams and was hardly worth getting. So I had it listed really high, and then as questions started coming in, I'm like, oh, maybe this isn't as good as we hoped it was. I didn't lose money by any stretch, but at $70, buyers all in at almost $100, you could find comps for this game way higher, but you got to watch out and make sure how complete your set is. Going back to slot cars, the bottom of that Cougar sold for $24.99, so essentially the motor part. It just wasn't screwed together, and I didn't have the screws to put it together, so I sold them separately. Also, slot cars, like between the front wheels, there's a little pin that goes into the track to keep it from flying off the track and keep the contacts lined up. And this one didn't have that pin either, so it was a project for somebody. They couldn't attach it to the top. Sold for $24. This car was missing 1 screw in the back, and it sold for $37. And I think it had, I think the place where it was missing the screw, the mount was a little bit busted too. This Adidas trifoil, well, that's the name of the Adidas symbol that isn't just 3 stripes. The trifoil, it sold for $27.50, and it is vintage. It has the big, I think it's made in the USA tag. So this is 90s vintage. $27.50. I paid, I don't remember where I got that. I didn't pay very much for it. Judah picked up this tank top for $2.99 at Goodwill the other day. Sold for $10 free shipping. Probably not worth the time it took to do. Paying $3 and selling it for $10. The track for that slot car is sold for $24. And this is, it all says T-Jet or Thunderjet on these. And they are, that is Aurora Model Motoring Thunderjet is a very collectible breed of slot car stuff. This Wrangler's shirt sold for $18. It's just a vintage big. It just says extra large. It seemed extra large. It seemed bigger than that to me. $18 plus shipping, and it's been listed for maybe 9 weeks. Styx Ario shirt. Just like the Billy Joel earlier, I think these might have been like bootleg shirts that I got, like parking lot shirts. $11.49. I paid $2 a piece for them, so that one's hardly worth the time that it took to do either. This $18.99 for a Caterpillar t-shirt. Buyers all in at $52. And it cost me $25 to ship because somehow this got listed with like international shipping where I take care of the international part. And so I went ahead and sent it, but I don't know how that happened. I don't know how much money I made. I try not to do that. But I've had that jacket forever. And that one specifically is the only item I've ever bought and found money in the pocket. I paid $4. It had a $5 bill in the pocket. So I have nothing into it. And it sat forever. So somebody paid me for it. I made some amount of money. Hopefully everything works out just fine. $9.99 for the North Face, like I call it Nike Dry Fit kind of thing, but this one isn't Nike, it's North Face, so they call it Flash Dry. plus shipping. So the buyer's all in at $17.35, and that wouldn't have cost me anything at all to ship. Evelyn picked out this shirt because she liked the tie-dye colors of it. Single stitch. I do really well with Maui and Sons, like Shark 90s stuff. This was a single stitch, and it had a couple of holes in it. It was in bad shape. $9.99 plus shipping. Sherlock Holmes sold for $13. I paid $3.78 for that at Goodwill. It would have been right about that price, but it was a box set, so they priced it up because it's 6 books, and so at 50 cents a piece, it would have been $3, but they priced it 75 cents more than that, and so I guess I paid 78 cents for the slipcover box for the box set. Anyway, it sold for $13 plus shipping. This vest, I think I paid $7 or $8 for this vest, and I thought it was going to do well, and it did not. And I kept getting $15 offers, and I wasn't taking them because I thought it was worth more, and I was wrong. So eventually I did take a $17.49 free shipping offer just to move it, and now it's moved. But that's probably breaking even once I paid $7, $8 for it and paid shipping. I made nothing on that. This slot car sold for $40. And it was in nice shape and fairly rare. Free shipping. Skittles t-shirt sold for $10 plus shipping. I paid 50 cents for that at a garage sale where I got all kinds of cool shirts. And that is everything that sold for that $1,000 day that got shipped, and I don't still have it. So we'll go out to the, you know what, let's do a couple more in here because they're things that I'm not going to hold up and show you. The Grand Floridian sold for $374.99. Now, I had that priced at $4.99. And you guys know that I haven't had it for very long. But everything else had sold, all except for one thing, the Complete in Box Monorail. It's the only thing that I have left out of that whole set. And so I'm at, even including this sale, I'm at $1,500, and I paid $450 for the stuff. And that doesn't account for what people paid in shipping or if it was free shipping. So like just the amount that was paid, shipping either way isn't accounted for. It's right at $1,500. But this one sold for $374.99 plus shipping. Buyers all in right at $500 or right at $400. And I got it moved. It's gonna. Wow. I would rather take $375 for it than sit on it for trying to get $500. Here's the thing about people often say leaving money on the table. I left money on the table taking $375 for this. No one put $500 on the table. So I didn't leave it on the table. I could have sat at the table hoping someone was going to put $500 on the table, but there was no money on the table to leave there. It probably is premature of me to have marked that down in the sale 25% when it's something that's pretty desirable and I've had it for like 3 weeks and everything else is selling quickly. Selling things as fast as they will sell has garnered me the amount of success that I have. Sitting on stuff, letting stuff die on the shelf it's just not. I'm not going to do it. So I sold that for $375, and that's 10x profit. This shirt, well, we'll do that in a minute. There was one other one. The Railroad Main Street house, the Main Street Railroad Station, the entryway into Magic Kingdom. So if you've never been to Disney World, you park in the parking lot, you walk a half a mile up, and you come through underneath the monorail, and then there's kind of oh, hey, we're going through the gate to get into the park. And what you're looking at is the Main Street train station, and the train goes above your head, and you walk past the iconic like flower garden. It always has a picture of Mickey or something in it, and then you walk through underneath this train station, and that's where you see Main Street, and you look down and there's the castle. So this is the first thing, the first icon you see when you're in Disney World. And that sold for $149. I'm not going to hold that up and show it to you because it's going to be a pain in the butt to do. Levi picked up these Nerf things. He paid $2.50 a piece for 4 of them. So he was $10 into them. They sold for $30 plus shipping. So buyers all in at $46. And it's like things that it's magazines that you fill up with Nerf bullets and then attach to a gun. We didn't have any of the Nerf guns that these went to. And he bought them to flip. So I think everything else is small stuff that I can hold up and be like, hey, look at this. Well, how about these wrenches? The 11 wrenches. I picked them up the other day. Some of them are 14 inches long. And so they're kind of a pain in the butt. So this is every wrench, every 1/16 of an inch from 1 1/4 inches down to 5/8 of an inch. It's actually down to 9/16. I put 5/8 in there. 9/16 is one smaller. So anyway, it's 11 wrenches made in the USA, Stanley. I paid $30 for all of them. This is 11 out of the 30, and they sold for $55 free shipping. And I have essentially one set just like that, but it's missing 2 of the wrenches, and I listed that too. And it hasn't sold yet. A bunch of country music CDs. I paid $2 for like a gigantic lot at the end of an estate sale. And then I lotted together these 80s. It doesn't say how many. You can count them if you want. But they sold for $15 plus shipping, buyers all in at $21. And that legitimately is everything that's too big to hold up or going to be cumbersome to show you. So that is what sold, both that's already shipped or is going to be a pain in the butt to pick up and show you. So I got to get some packaging done. And then while I'm packaging in the store, I'll show you some more stuff.